He's a really good horse, exceptionally good looking and fast.
Lord Nelson lunged to win the triple. Lord Nelson charting a course to the Breeders' Cup.
Lord Nelson, a dominating performance.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 10 at Del Mar on Breeders' Cup Saturday is the Grade 1 $2 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Let's take a look at this field. Our coverage is presented by Malibu Moon at Spendthrift Farm. Malibu Moon, the sire of the number 12 Hollywood Star. The morning line favorite in this race, and the horse that might very well be the shortest priced favorite on the two-day Breeders' Cup extravaganza, is Bolt d'Oro. This horse is a perfect 3 for 3, ran away and hid from the Grade 1 front-runner field last time out. 100 Beyer speed figure in his first start around 2 turns. Good tactical speed, not a lot of knocks.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. Probably the shortest price favorite on either card, and probably of all the favorites in the Breeders' Cup races, probably the most likely winner too. I mean, there's just really not anything to knock about him. And I guess if he just runs his front runner back, then they're just going to have a whale of a time beating him. I'm not way. I picked against him in this race. I'm not way against him. I think he'll probably win. I just keep looking at that front runner, and I got the 100 Beyer speed figure for it, and I keep looking at that race going, first of all, the field was terrible. Second of all, it almost just felt like nobody ran. He ran, and the runner-up, I think, ran deceptively well, and then there was nothing else in that race. I'm having a tough time buying into him as like some kind of a layover 2-year-old, but this is a good spot.
Bolt d'Oro has won from pace pressing mode. He has won from well off of the pace. The time form pace projector has him close as he was in the front runner. They've got the number 9 Has It on the lead with Bolt d'Oro, the 11, breaking from a tough outside post, sitting in stalking range. As for Has It, he was a debut winner at Saratoga, beating Good Magic, but he really kind of walked the dog on the lead that day. He did not run well in the Champagne last time out. Was he just too far off the pace, or are they just going to send him again?
No, I mean, I think they
too close to the pace.
He was too close, I think. I mean, he ran fine first time out, but he had all the best of it that day. I think maybe he was too close to the Champagne. The pace was pretty fast. The winner, Forenzi Fire, did close into that race. On the other hand, I mean, the 2 horses he was up on the pace with, I mean, he couldn't even get by them. I mean, Forenzi Fire ran by him, Good Magic ran by him, Enticed ran by him, and then he just sort of grinded out 5th at the end. I don't think he ran well in the Champagne.
I think the 8 Bahamian is going to be either on the lead or very close to it. This is a horse that was a pace setter in a maiden race 2 starts back in the Champagne. He never got a chance to strut his stuff after breaking poorly. He is still a maiden. He's a grandson of Spendthrift Stallion Malibu Moon. I believe Freedom Child is a Spendthrift regional stallion. I think he can be a pace presence.
I think he can too. He just has to break this time. He missed the break very badly in this Champagne, and that was all she wrote there. If he breaks, he has speed, and then you have to worry about distance with him. How far does he want to go?
Forenzi Fire, the number 3, is a multiple graded stakes winner. He won the Champagne last time out, taking advantage of that hot pace up front, coming with a big wide bid. Now, he did not change leads in the stretch, and he's going to have to go 2 turns for the first time, but he just beat 3 of these common foes.
You know, things working against him, I guess, for all the things that you mentioned. He's got to go 2 turns here. He did take advantage a little bit last time. The lack of a lead change makes you worry about distance with him. But man, he's done nothing but really run well for Jason Service so far. I mean, he was very disappointing in the hopeful, but he bounced back with a really nice performance in the Champagne. I mean, I'm not like wildly against him. He's a nice little horse, but I do think he has to improve.
I think Chad Brown's maiden, the 6 Good Magic's going to give a good account of himself. This is a 7-figure yearling by Curlin, beaten by Hazard in the debut. Thought the 6.5 was short, didn't have a lot of pace to run at. He just couldn't run down Hazard. In the Champagne, good performance. Came with a 4-wide bid in the stretch. He fought the winner, Forenzi Fire, when that one had the momentum on the outside. I'm not really worried about the 2 turns for Good Magic. At 8-1 on the morning line, there's some value here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, as far as, forget about worrying about the 2 turns, I think it'll be better. I think as the longer this horse goes, it probably helps him. He's run fine in each of his first 2 starts. I don't think, if you're sitting here trying to make excuses for his first 2 races, you're not going to get any sympathy from me. I think he's had really good trips both times, and he was second best both times, but he ran well, and the figures say he fit, and he's just one of those horses who you just sort of feel like he's going to keep getting better as the distances get longer. I agree with you. I think he's a player in this race.
Pre-drop Billy handled the 2 turns no problem in the Breeders' Futurity last time out. It did not come back a fast race, only a 79 Beyer speed figure, but he looked good doing it.
Yeah, I don't love that race, but I liked the way that he ran in there. He felt like one of those horses right from the start who was going to be better when they stretched him out. and they stretched him out last time, and I think he was better in that race. It just happened not to be a very strong race.
There were some questions as to whether the number 7, the Tabulator, could succeed around 2 turns after a couple of nice sprint performances to begin his career. Well, he answered that question in the affirmative, winning the Grade 3 Iroquois last time out, but he was drifting out in the stretch that day. I wonder if the mile and a 16th, he got it that day over Hollywood Star, but I wonder if it's testing him a bit against perhaps better horses here. But you know something? 3 for 3 and 20 to 1 on the morning line.
Yeah, and he's, you know, I like that he was able to sit last time because they actually looked like they wanted to make the lead with him, and then some long shot ran up to his inside, and he was fine with sitting off that horse, and that's a good thing for him. He's a little slow on the way in.
Holiday Star, the son of spendthrift stallion Malibu Moon, I thought ran well in the Iroquois behind the Tabulator as the beaten favorite. He really didn't break that day. Then was sort of down towards the inside most of the way. I liked how he galloped out after the finish. Yeah. It's just a tough post, and he's a little slow on paper.
Yeah, tough post. He's another one. He's sort of bred to go on, and he improved stretching out last time, but I don't think he improved enough.
Give me a minute. Louisiana bred by that Hickory runner Star Guitar. I liked his performance in the Hopeful. I know you don't like the Hopeful as a race, but I like that he was sort of in behind horses, took a little bit of dirt, split him late. Now, Sporting Chance almost coughed that thing up when he started drifting out late. Maybe that makes the margin a little bit of a mirage. The Breeders' Futurity, that was somewhat of a disappointment. Maybe, I don't know what to make of that
This
race.
is what I'm going to say about him. I liked his debut a lot. Thought he ran well.
Yeah.
I thought he ran fine in the Hopeful, considering it was his second start and he was still a maiden. Not that, you know, he had a big excuse in there, but he ran well. The Breeders' Futurity, we already talked about. It's a little bit of a slow race. It's not a great one. That was the race where 10 City went wrong on the turn there. He was on the lead and he went wrong. For a horse to go wrong at that point in the race, considering where it was, you would feel like it would really give a lot of excuses in the race. I sort of felt like it didn't, except maybe this horse. I feel like he was the one horse who was compromised by it a little bit because he was down inside. He had to get around that horse, and then he was in behind horses at the top of the stretch, waiting for somewhere to go. He got somewhere to go. He didn't fire at the end, but I'm going to give him a little bit of an excuse there. I still think I still wish they wouldn't run him in races like this and give him a chance to find himself. But I do think he's a talented horse, and at 20 to 1, I'm going to find a way to throw him in.
U.S. Navy flag has run 10 times already as a 2-year-old. He has won his last 3 races, including 2 Group 1 sprinting. This is going to be his first route race. The original plan was that he would run on the Friday card in the juvenile turf, where you'd think he'd be a fairly heavy favorite. Aidan O'Brien decided to run him here. A lot of turf close up in the pedigree, but the Deep family has horses like Desert Wine and Menifee.
Okay, so there's a little bit of dirt back there. I guess that's fine. I still wish they would have ran him on turf.
Pick time for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I think Bolt d'Oro is going to be very, very tough, as most people. I do think Good Magic's going to run well. Let's talk about Solo Mini. You liked him a little bit last time out in the front runner, and Bolt d'Oro just freaked out that day and ran, but it was only start number 2 for Solo Mini. When Matt Bernier and I have talked about this horse in the past, it's almost like I think he's got the most long-term potential of anyone in this field. I think he's got a shot in the Spring Classics if he continues to mature. I wonder if this is too much too soon.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not way against Bolt d'Oro in this race. I really feel like he's a pretty likely winner. I do think, however, if he loses, it's probably to this horse. And I agree with you on Good Magic, too. I think Good Magic has a chance, but I think this might be the most dangerous horse to the favorite.
Because he's still learning.
Yeah, he's still learning. I thought he ran well first time out, even though we had a pace to run at. Like, that was one of those races he could have easily lost, and you wouldn't have been disappointed, but he won it. And listen, he wasn't going to win last time, but 4 wide around the first turn, caught just wide all the way up the backstretch and around the second turn, chasing Bolt d'Oro, just had it all over him in that race. And he still stayed on to be second, a distant second, but he was second anyway. I think there's a chance at least that he improves a little bit again. And maybe Bolt d'Oro doesn't run that race back. It brings them closer together. Maybe he can get it done. 2:11.65
for Mike, 11.632 for me. In the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile, our coverage presented by Malibu Moon at Spendthrift Farm.